Hello everyone, it's Jeannie. Welcome to my channel. I hope you are all well. There's a place we keep returning to year after year after year. It's a quiet, beautiful, I should say semi-quiet, but beautiful, definitely, city in southern Germany called Ulm, U-L-M. And every time we go, it feels not only familiar, there's a sense of home that I feel when I'm there. The air is crisp. You hear cathedral bells, but you can say that about most of Europe. But there's something about southern Germany that just makes my blood stir. And I remember that from the very first time I went there, flying into Munich alone. I was meeting my mom and dad there who had been there for a few weeks already. And they were with friends and they picked me up. It was one of the most fantastic flights and landings just because of the visceral feelings that were going through me, just like at some cellular DNA memory. It's like my ancestors maybe were from here. I'm mostly, almost all English, Irish, and a little bit of dip down into Belgium and France. A mailman got in there or something, but there is a little bit of German, but when I look at my, my deep chart, but something about it just stirs me and stirs my soul. And so I just want to share a little bit about Ulm as I am starting to prepare for our trip in December. I'll do another video as we get closer. And of course, I'll do a travel video of Ulm and our travels. But this is just kind of a preview because I'm starting to plan now for some things. We will be spending Christmas there, so I've actually started shopping. And the gifts I'm getting everybody are all Texas oriented. I don't think they watch this, so I can say tea towels, pens, notepads, pot holders, and a couple of some shot glasses, that say Texas on them. Just a bunch of kitschy things. And one thing I did get that was nice is a cutting board in the shape of Texas, and it's got Texas's main cities on it, engraved in it. And that'll be for our friends, Wolfie and Rosie, who we go back decades with. My mom and dad first met them back in the 80s, just driving around. They struck up a conversation, and one thing led to another. They ended up having lunch together. Wolfie told my dad, next time you come back, call me. And my mom and dad did. They went out again. They all got together with his wife, Rosie, this time. And it was just a wonderful match made in heaven. Well, my dad said, come to California. And so Rosie and Wolfie did, and they stayed with my mom and dad. And that's when I first met them. It was, mid to late 80s. Mid-80s. It was mid-80s. Maybe 87, 88. And I fell in love with them immediately. And so my mom and dad went back and forth. Rosie and Wolfie came back and forth. And then they started bringing, in-laws and brothers and relatives and nephews with them. And we got to know their extended family. Well, we finally flew out there. The first time I did, I was alone. And I got to see everybody there, and it was just heaven for me. And ever since then, we've been going back and forth, back and forth. We go down to Croatia with them. We fly to Germany, hang out there for a while, and then drive down to Germany and have so much fun just relaxing. So it's just, they're fantastic people. And to me, relationships are what make a place. There's beautiful stuff all over the planet, but it's who you connect with that makes a place special, right? So, but I particularly love Ulm. It's kind of a big little city or a little big city, however you want to call it. And so I'm going to show you some of those things. Over the course of years going there, every now and then we'll pick up a little book, and they're really actually all the same. Different pictures, but I just wanted to show you a few of them. This one is called Bayern, and that means Bavaria in German. Beautiful, hermosa, beautiful Bayern, beautiful Bavaria. And that is a region, a state in Germany, in southern Germany. When we're in Ulm, we go back and forth between Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria. And that is separated by the Donau, the Danube, the beautiful blue Danube, like the Johann Strauss's piece. So this picture here, I think most of you are familiar with. This is what's called Neuschwanstein. Not Neuschwanstein, Neuschwanstein. New Schwanstein, Schwanstein. And it is what a lot of people call the Cinderella Castle. And Disney actually modeled his castle at Disneyland somewhat after this. King Ludwig bankrupted the state of Germany, the country of Germany, Mad King Ludwig, to build this castle. Look at that, and we've been in it. We've done a tour. It's amazing. It's amazing. They had circulating hot water. Before that was a thing. It was very, very advanced and beautiful. And you can look across and see, not on this picture, but another one of his castles, Schwangau, Hohenschwangau. And just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Huge tourist attraction. And now that's what brings Germany a ton of tourists and a ton of tourist money. So what first was bankrupting the country of Germany is now paying off. Who knew that Mad King Ludwig, who died under very suspicious circumstances, and it wasn't the Countess, turns out to be something so special. So if you do go to Germany and southern Germany, check it out. But it's better off season. It gets very crowded during tourist times. So we are going there in December, and we're going to spend the last week and a half of December there, and we'll get home just before New Year's Eve. We've been there every month of the year, winter, spring, summer, and fall. But we've never been there over the Christmas holiday. And Rosie and Wolfie are getting on in age, and it's getting harder for them to travel than it is for us right now. And so we want to make this a special trip. We'll do Christmas early with our family here, and then go spend it there with them. I love the winter there. There's something just cozy about it. I hope it snows, but chances are it'll just be cold and wet. But there's a chance. I love the snow there. It's so beautiful. When you walk along the Danube, the Donau, They have a little pathway. It's just, when it's white with snow, it's just so gorgeous. Speaking of winter and getting ready for Germany, I want to thank today's partner, Dokotoo. Look at my sweater. Let me stand up real quick and I'll show you what else I got. I am getting such 80s vibes with these sleeves. I just love this. They have just launched their new Wooltidra collection, and I've already started wearing these sweaters because fall is settling in here in Texas, little by little. When it's cooler in the evening or first thing in the morning, these are perfect. These sweaters are made from a soft wool blend that feels so luxurious. They're warm without being heavy, and they are surprisingly breathable. And what I appreciate most is how easy they are to care for. They're machine washable and absolutely perfect for travel. I've been trying to do more capsule wardrobe, and so these fit in with my fall capsule for Germany and also the trip coming up to Australia at the end of February, beginning of March, because we're starting to get into fall there as well. I've got this beige crew neck that layers beautifully under a coat, and this beautiful chestnut vest, and it pairs well with jeans or any kind of trousers. And this navy cardigan that's cozy enough for long days. Dokotoo describes the Wooltidra line as more than warm. It's a Wooltidra feeling. And that really resonates with me. Because when I think of travel and returning to a place like Ulm, it's about finding comfort in what you wear and warmth in those moments and looking good at affordable prices. If you'd like to explore the collection, I'm going to link all the pieces that I have. And I'm going to have a lot more coming up for my Australia trip. I love the idea of capsule wardrobe. And when you can mix and match and everything gets several uses, that's the smartest way to shop. So check out their collection if you're looking for something very durable, very easy to take care of, great prices, and it's going to just make my trip to Germany and beyond so great. Thank you to the folks at Dokotoo for partnering with me on this video. I'm so happy to be showing off this beautiful Wooltidra collection, and I'm looking forward to showing you all in the future my trip to Germany as well as Australia. Check out the links in the description and take advantage of the great prices and the great selection. So this is Bayern, and that is Bavaria, as I mentioned. And I think I will do a separate video about southern Germany as a whole. And today I'm going to specifically focus on Ulm. Here we are. This perspective here is standing across the Danube, the Donau, in Neu-Ulm, looking over to Ulm. So you're standing on Bavaria on one side and looking at Baden-Württemberg, a different state, over on the other side. The beautiful blue Danube. And this church, and I'll show you more of it, has the tallest spire in the world, and it's the Ulm Minster. Minster. And as with most cathedrals and churches, in Europe, the towns were built around the church. You can see how they spread out in almost a circular fashion from the church. It's just the way it was. And the cities grow from there. Okay, let's just go through these pictures here. This is the Stadtmitte, the middle of the city right here. And here you have a really interesting juxtaposition of design, old world and new world. This is a really beautiful building, and there's a little shop in here that you can buy Ulm souvenirs in. And so let's look inside the church. This is the Man of Sorrows at the West Portal. And this is the basic outline area of the church and how the inside is set up. Look at these tall, Gothic, curved walls, just beautiful. And the carvings are just amazing. This cathedral took nearly 500 years to complete. And it was a generational thing. So a father worked on, say, masonry, and so did his son, and his son, and his son. You were kind of born into that labor of love, or that designated work field. The carvings are just amazing. I can see why it took 500 years, because they're just so meticulous. As with most cathedrals in Europe, I can't believe how they did what they did and when they did it. The choir stalls are so beautiful. Look at this. So the choir would sit here and sing. And every one has different characters, like Virgil, Ptolemy, Pythagoras. And look at this beautiful choir altar here. Oh my goodness, it's just so beautiful. Ulm was first mentioned in the year 854. 854. That is old. Older than me. And this is the town hall. Right here. And look at the detail on the front of these. They're not just walls, they're pieces of art. And this is an astronomical clock. I love going into museums because you just see so many wonderful, wonderful things. Now, this is called this area here. When you cross over this little bridge, this is the Crooked House, Scheifes House, in the Fisherman's Quarter. And we pass this now. Let me tell you something. Our friends live just over this other side of this bridge. Look at the beautiful flowers in the windows. This is actually a hotel that you can stay in. There are lots of stairs, and it is crooked, and the walls get narrower, and angled as you. We have not stayed there because it's very expensive, and no, we've never stayed there. Now, interestingly enough, this area is also called Little Venice, and it's a little piece of the Danube that feeds into the Danube, and it's called the Blau, which means the blue, the Blau. Now, this place here is actually, just to the right, the place where our friend grew up and lived, and then they moved across to the other side of the Blau, and I might be able to show you that. These are some friends we're going to Mexico with. Okay, now, here's the little bridge over the Blau. Our good friends Rosie and Wolfie live just here on the other side of this tree. And our other friends, Michael and Petra, live on the other side of this bridge, just behind this house here. And this restaurant is so good, by the way. Mm-mm-mm. So, do you know, and I think we'll see, you see lots of pictures of Einstein around Ulm because that's where he was born. I love their markets. I can't remember if they were Tuesdays and Saturdays or Wednesdays and Saturdays. They've got fresh flowers and fruits and meats and breads and everything delicious that you could ever want. I just can't get enough of that. This is Ravensgasse, Raven's Lane, in part of the Old Town. And they're not only homes, but little shops that are just so fantastic to wander through. This is the main shopping area in the Stadtmitte, Hirschstrasse, Stag Street. It's kind of a pedestrian area and the main shopping area. Oh, here's a great overview. Oh, look at this. This must be from Rosie and Wolfie because Haus from Wolfgang und Rosie. She put this in here, and here's their house right here. And then our other friend's house is right here. So, yeah. And the little Blau is right here, and it flows out to the Danube, the Donau. And we walk along here. It's such a beautiful walk. And here's the Minster. It's a very walkable city, very walkable. It is a walled city, and so you all around the city you see this great big wall, and you go in and out under, you would have been let in or out, allowed in or out at various access points, and you can walk the wall in many parts of it. Münsterbaker. Bread is a very serious deal there in Germany and other parts of Europe as well. I know France. So let me get to another book. I'll show you something. Here's a joke I heard about Germany and their bread. Two mothers were sitting talking, and one says to the other, "What is your son up to now? What is he doing?" And she said, "Oh, he's a failure. He wanted to be a baker, but he couldn't pass the exams, and so now he's just a doctor." So that's how important their bread is. Okay, is this the one? No. Okay, so here is another book, and they're all so similar. But this one has just different. Okay, so here you can kind of see a little map of the main city. Here's the church, Minster. And Scheifes House, that's the crooked house. Fisherman, that's the fisherman's district. And these are where our friends live, right in here. Right here. Look at this beautiful cathedral. Our kids have walked up here. I can't remember how many steps are there. Look at this. Look at this carving. I just can't even imagine how this all got done. It's just master craftsmen. Look at how beautiful that is. Every time I go in here, I do light a candle. There are a few places you can light a candle and say a prayer. The stained glass is just beautiful. They've got 40 stained glass windows. And of course they portray biblical scenes because there was a time when people couldn't read. And so the stained glass windows in cathedrals kind of told the story of the Bible. Here are those choir pews again. Very, very Gothic. Very notable people carved into them. There's the Pythagoras again. Pythagoras, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That was his theorem. And yes, 768 stairs lead up to the top. I have not done it. My kids have. And you can look out, and we saw them waving. It's like, no way, no way. Couldn't pay me to do that. Especially on a hot summer muggy day. The thing about their parking garages is they're really great about, they have areas for parking for women, pregnant mothers, and, not just those who have disabled parking stickers, but they also have women and then pregnant women. Okay, here's that town hall again. They have a pyramid-shaped building, and that's the new city library. Very Parisian, you know how they have they have that pyramid outside the Louvre as well. So beautiful. I always know where we are when I see, here's the Ulm Minster, the Donau, and the Little Blau. And here is where we typically stay, and that is called the Maritime Hotel. They have probably the best breakfasts on the planet, in the universe, in the solar system. It's true. I live for those breakfasts, and I'm not a breakfast person. They're fantastic. I love the Maritime. I cannot wait to show you that. And here's the thing, too. So we eat breakfast, and then we walk along the Danube, and then we go to Wolfie and Rosie's place right here. Yeah, right here. And then they want to start feeding us some more. It's like, I'm full for the day. Nope. Wolfie and Rosie cook the most fantastic food, and then they start working on dinner. my goodness, I'm going to gain 50 pounds. But it's amazing. So here's Ulm, and here's Neue Ulm, New Ulm. The Museum of Ulm, I would definitely go here and check them out. And one of the things we did once was the bread museum. It was fascinating. Now, it was all in German. And at that time when I did this, oh, someone's here. My command of the German language was so-so, as it is now, because I don't go often enough. But it was fascinating. They take their bread very seriously, enough to have a museum of bread. And so here is the little bridge that I was showing you. This is where our friends live, Wolfie and Rosie, and our other friends live right here where this photo is being taken. This is the little restaurant, and that's the Fisher Square, Fisherman's and Tanner's Quarter. Yeah. Isn't this just beautiful? This is the Crooked House, the Schaffes House. I just love these timbered houses, you know, they're just so beautiful. It feels like you're in a Disney picture, but it's real. Now, here's downtown Ulm, in the center of Ulm, Stadtmitte. And you see so many young people walking around, older people pushing their carts, doing all the shopping. They have everything you need. Everything. The oldest and most beautifully restored residential building of Ulm dates back to 1359. 1359. Look at that. I love these wrought iron guild signs. They're all over, and they used to show what somebody's business was. What's that say? Zuckerbrot, sugar bread. Oh, this is the one of those long boats. I'll show you something that is a big deal that they do I think it's every 2 or 4 years, and I've been to it. I'll show you. It's so much fun. The Ulmer Spatz. This is the bird that is all over the town. The Ulmer Spatz, and it's always typically got a long piece of straw in its mouth, and supposedly it helped them to figure out how to bring in long poles. This is the story I heard, that the way it carried in a long pole into a particular nest gave them the idea of how to bring in the long poles to the city, or long pieces of wood. I don't know. So here we go. Oh man, summer evenings out on the Danube are so beautiful. They have so many things. Sometimes they have concerts there. Sometimes they have events going on. Lots of marathons. We've been there during marathons. Thousands of spectators, celebrities, and local and international guests attend Oath Monday every year. Oath Monday. And so it's the mayor of Ulm delivering his oath to the city. And he does it while the clock is striking. Now, they have all kinds of celebrations. And look at this. swimming and floating down the Danube. It's a water carnival known as Nabada. Look at all that. I mean, they know how to have fun. This is what we've seen. It's like a jousting on the river. It's called, I think, a Fischerstruck. It's like, yeah, jousting. And so you have a team here, a team here. They sail toward each other, you know, paddle toward each other, and then you push somebody off and you hit them in the chest and knock them off. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Whoever manages to stay dry wins, and it's a serious thing. Look at all the people that line the banks, you know, to watch this. We know a family that is very involved in it, and they are for generation after generation. So they have 2 barges, 3 boatmen, and 1 jouster. And they meet in the middle of the river and aim at winning the tournament by getting the other guy in the water. And they get hurt, I'll tell you. Okay, St. Paul's Church. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Very Art Nouveau. The City Park of Ulm. The Botanical Gardens of Ulm. It's one of the biggest and most popular botanical gardens in Germany. So, the University of Ulm, or the Science City. An amazing university for sciences, engineering, dentistry, medicine, mathematics, economics. Very high level. Soflingen. We've stayed here before too. Beautiful little town. Blinken. So, anyway. And then what we're going for is what's called Weihnachtsmarkt. And it is, they have hundreds of stalls. Let me show you this. Selling arts and crafts, foods, and so many wonderful things. I'm looking forward to this. This is what we're coming to. They have a little nativity scene set up. So, that is what we are in the midst of planning for right now. So, I'm just looking forward to it and hoping everything goes well. Our friends are getting a little older, and so that is why we're taking time to be with them. Yeah. So I'm looking forward in December, or actually it'll be January, when I bring back all the photos to put together and show you our trip. So thank you so much for being here with me. And I am going to post this on both my ASMR, Jeannie B ASMR channel, as well as my Jeannie B Here and There, because I want to start making sure that that channel has all our travel trips. So make sure to go check me out there at Jeannie B Here and There. It's going to be a while as I populate it, but it's gonna be a fun channel. Thank you, guys. Thank you to Dokotoo for providing my part of my travel capsule, my clothing capsule, with these amazing Wooltidra, beautiful, soft sweaters. I'll talk talk to you soon, and take care. Bye for now, friends.